to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and this hypnosis session is where I was working with a younger client, a teenage boy, that was being taunted. Some people would use the word bullied. I didn't, and I wouldn't, because sometimes it can just be interpreted that way. There was verbal abuse, verbal teasing, verbal criticism, and that was knocking their confidence. And that can become very circular, because if you're in a situation where your confidence gets lower, then people that do like to kind of dominate in that way will read that as a victory, and it kind of emboldens them. So this hypnosis session has various components. There was a holiday that they could recall where they felt very confident, so we regress back to that. There's a visual metaphor of breathing in confidence and exhaling anything that might be insecurities or stress or worries. They had a role model that was a footballer, that was a smaller football player that was very confident and definitely wouldn't have been bothered by opponents or even the crowd, chanting at them or criticizing them. So we've got a role model there as well. And we've also got a visual metaphor of a force field so that they can imagine feeling confident within their force field. And also, one of the things that this client particularly liked is this idea that sometimes it's insecure animals that try and overcompensate. So we started thinking of this person that was kind of teasing and taunting them as a bit of a yapping chihuahua, so that rather than them being afraid or worried by the verbal taunts, they could smile and not be bothered by it, because a yapping chihuahua isn't really a threat to anyone. And the biggest dogs don't need to bark, so we could even almost frame this person as an insecure person trying to dominate other people as well. Obviously, it was created for a school-aged teenager. You might also be able to resonate with this if the power dynamics are off. And I've worked with people where the power dynamics were off with a colleague, a family member, a partner, even a boss. And therefore, it doesn't have to only be relevant for school-aged children or teenagers. This is relevant for anyone that feels that words are knocking their confidence. So if you can connect with that, it would be useful. But equally, I think children at school, if they are being teased or taunted, will get more value of this, particularly if they can identify with some of the metaphors included. It was created for an individual, therefore some of the references, some of the suggestions, particularly regressing to a beach in Nice, are incredibly specific to the client I was working with. So if you like the idea of working with me directly, or perhaps if you're a parent watching this or listening to this, for a child, there will be a link in the description where you can schedule a completely free consultation call. We'll have a chat, and it might be that I end up working with you or your child to do some hypnotherapy. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in that feeling of calm, relaxation, and as you exhale, feel a wonderful feeling of release, as if any tension, stress, or worries are just leaving your body as you breathe out. Breathing in relaxation and exhaling any tension. That's it. you to focus your attention on the tiny muscles behind your eyeballs. Really focus on that point. And as you imagine all those tiny muscles around your eyeball, I want you to imagine breathing in a color that represents resourceful relaxation. And as you breathe in that color, imagine it going in through your nose, down into your lungs, and then just imagine your heart is distributing that resourceful relaxation all across your body. But I want you to focus on those tiny muscles around the eyeball, almost like it's relaxing those muscles. Because when your eyes are relaxed, when they're really relaxed, sometimes vision improves, or perhaps the speed at which vision changes is reduced. And I want you to feel that you are helping your eyes be healthy and clear. That's it. Focus on the back of your eyeballs, and on the next outward breath, just release that breath, feeling any tension leave your body, noticing that the deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you become. And the more relaxed you become, the deeper you breathe. Each breath taking you deeper and deeper relaxed. And as your body relaxes, your imagination awakens. And I want your imagination to take you back to a memory. Just allow yourself to drift back to a warm, sunny beach in Nice. You know that your physical body is where it is, but imagine that your imagination is somewhere else. And maybe you could imagine feeling the sun on your skin. Perhaps you could imagine waves or blue skies. Maybe even the sound of the sea rolling in and out, just like a calm, steady breath. Imagine wearing any clothing that is suitable for that beach. Maybe you're barefoot. Maybe you could imagine feeling the sand beneath your feet, even in between your toes. And there on that beach, every breath enables your body to relax even more. And the sound of the waves become like the rhythm of your own heartbeat, calm, regular, and relaxing. But I want you to imagine walking along that beach in your imagination with a very relaxed, confident way of walking. And just notice how free you feel here. Light, confident, completely yourself. And I want you to imagine every step on that beach enables you to feel stronger and more confident. And every time a wave breaks, just relax the muscles in your neck and your shoulders. Feel your head being held high, your chin going up, and your arms relaxing and your mind becoming clear. And I want you to imagine feeling twice as confident as you felt there on that beach. You were already confident there, but now imagine twice the confidence as you start to feel that same energy returning. That feeling of confidence, that feeling of it's completely fine to be you. And And I wonder there on that beach, if you were able to imagine breathing in a combination of white and yellow, almost like bright white light and a glowing white gold. Imagine this is no longer relaxation, but concentrated confidence. And as you breathe in that white and gold, I want you to imagine the glowing light of white and gold there in your chest, right in the middle of your ribcage, close to your heart. And as you breathe out, just imagine dark shadows, and that represents any fears, insecurities, any worries. So you're breathing in bright white gold, and you're breathing out dark shadows, each breath making you feel more confident and releasing any old stresses and worries. And I wonder if you can feel what it would be like if each breath in fills you with power and calm, and each breath out releases tension. In, glowing confidence, and out anything that doesn't serve you. And as you continue breathing this way, you can imagine that glowing light spreading outwards from your chest, forming a bright, protective bubble all around you. In fact, I wonder if you could imagine a force field of pure golden energy. And inside the bubble, this is your space. Inside it, you are calm, strong, and untouchable. And outside it, any words, any taunts, any criticism just bounces off, like raindrops sliding off glass, or like tennis balls hitting a solid wall and then just bouncing away. I want you to feel that depending on who you are, changes what other people say and what other people do. A wise man once said, "Lions don't consider themselves with the opinions of sheep." To allow words to hurt you, they have to be given power. And what if we take all of that power away? And I want you to notice how good it feels to be surrounded by that glowing white and gold force field. Feel that strength and power, and that same kind of focused energy that the very best football players feel when they step out onto the pitch. In fact, you might think of a specific player that you consider confident, resilient, that words will not affect whether they appear on the field or play the game well. And these top players don't get distracted by the crowd or what the opposing players say, because they are in the zone, calm, powerful, and ready. And you are like that too. That force field, that bubble of light reminds you that it's up to you to decide what gets in. If someone says something unkind, just imagine their words hitting the bubble and bouncing away. You stay calm, you stay cool, you stay focused, like a top player in control in the game, no matter who they are playing against. And I wonder if you could imagine there on the beach, someone is it trying to taunt you? There you are on the beach, inside your bubble. But I want you to imagine a person that's been saying words, but I want you to shrink them down to the size of a little chihuahua. The same words, but now from a tiny little dog. And just imagine when they're that size, whatever they say seems to make you smile. You can even imagine their voice as yappy, squeaky. Imagine them as that yapping chihuahua. And then imagine that person with those unkind words. They're outside the bubble. And even if they're full size, you still think of them as that small yapping dog. You consider them harmless. They are no real threat. They are just background noise that you can choose to ignore. Or even better, smile at. You already know that truly confident people don't need to bark loudly, don't need to put other people down. So every time you hear that person saying anything, whether it's on the playground, a football pitch, or perhaps even on some chat platform, you can smile. And in your mind you think of them as that small yapping chihuahua. And you'll remember that their behavior is all about them and not about you. And just like your favorite player, that confident athlete, you focus on your game, your moves, your goals. So there on the beach, I want you to imagine taking on the posture if you had triple the confidence now. Just imagine standing tall, head held high, chin up, shoulders back, with your back straight and strong like a champion. And I want you to feel what it would feel like to have that power pose lock into place, activating that posture of confidence. And I want you to really believe that when you stand like that, you're not trying to be confident. You are confidence. So from now on, whenever you stand tall like that, feel that glowing white-yellow energy rise up inside you, instantly activating that bubble of calm strength. Each breath becomes slower and deeper, each heartbeat steadier, each thought clearer, like it's automatic, natural, and just who you are. And I want you to imagine seeing yourself now, perhaps back at school. Maybe see yourself on a playground, but you're the observer now. And I want you to see that that future version of you looks different. You're smiling more. Your facial expression is relaxed. The way you walk, run, or move is just more deliberate, more confident. And I want you to imagine seeing yourself playing with friends, maybe football, and then see someone else there also playing that is trying to dominate you or criticize you. It just doesn't work. And the harder they try, the more you smile, the more unbothered you look. If anything, it makes you play better, just to prove that they can't get to you in any way. And every now and then you'll choose your response. If they attempt to taunt or tease, you get to decide how you respond. And with a good response that you've prepared or thought through or just comes to you in the moment, notice how quickly that version of you turns teasing into banter. Because that future version of you are in control. Someone can try and dominate you, but that doesn't mean you have to be dominated. And each time you handle things calmly, you build more inner strength. You gain more respect from others and build more belief in yourself. And I want you to imagine seeing yourself in different situations. And when people try and taunt, tease, criticize, or do anything, it doesn't work in the same way it used to. See yourself unfazed, unbothered, looking confident. And then when you see yourself confidently dealing with something that used to bother you in the past, let me know by nodding your head. And I want you to imagine stepping into that version of you. You're now in your body, but perhaps at school. Imagine someone attempting, and just notice you shift your posture, chin up, head up, back straight, smiling. And imagine them attempting, trying their hardest to get to you. And you smile. You feel confident. You imagine them as a yapping chihuahua. Your Forcefield keeps you strong and confident. And you can choose to respond if you want, but you don't have to. Because you have nothing to prove. You are confident, you are calm, and you feel good. You feel good in your own body, and you accept everything about you. And the harder they try, the less effective it becomes, because it activates confidence in you, not submission. And when you can imagine that, feel what that would feel like to handle things differently in your future, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And whenever you do that pose, that posture, these feelings will come back immediately. But it's time to leave this place in your imagination, and in fact also the beach there in Nice. Imagine floating all the way back into the here and the now. So take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. As very soon I will count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will feel confident. You will feel that no one can get to you unless you allow it. You will almost look forward to the next time that someone attempts to challenge you, because you will remain unfazed. Starting to count to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Hypnotist. If you've enjoyed this episode or got some value from it, please give it a 5-star rating and review. And maybe you know someone that would also benefit from this particular episode, in which case share the episode with them so they can also get the benefit too. And if you would like to listen to this episode where it's just the hypnosis, so no intro, no outro, no explanation, just the hypnosis and completely ad-free, there will be a link in the description where you can subscribe at a very low cost and only get access to the hypnosis. So if that's of interest, please check that out. Thank you again for being a regular listener of The Hypnotist, and I'll see you again soon for more.